Welcome back to the weekly football update here on Oski News. I'm Wendell Campbell, and we're previewing the 2017 season. Today we're joined by second-year head coach Cass Stubbs of the North Mahaska Warhawks as they get ready to take the field. In Week 0, they'll be on the road at Highland to take on the Warriors of Highland for Week 0. We'll be right back with Coach Cass Stubbs, and we'll preview the 2017 season. You're watching the weekly football update here on Oski News.
Well,
I love it.
I know, right? I saw it and I was just like, oh, I have to have it.
Is it suede?
It's suede. Love suede.
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments, there's one of these.
Well, I love it. I know, right? I saw it and I was like, have to have it.
Is it suede?
It's suede.
I love suede.
That's why we're there with renter's insurance when things go wrong, but also here with a rewards credit card to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Wendell Campbell in Oskaloosa today.
And we're back. I'm joined today by Coach Cass Stubbs, the second-year head coach of the North Mahaska Warhawks. Coach, thanks for being with us here today. Coming in first year on the sidelines of North Mahaska in 2016 with a 4-5.
Yeah.
Really had the opportunity. I want to kind of recall back that last play of the game at Pekin. It wasn't last play, but we inside a minute had a chance with a 2-point conversion.
Right.
Really the difference between 5-4 and a 4-5 season. But
right.
You guys had what I would say a successful campaign. And look back some of the previous years. So.
Yeah, it was a good first season. We had a great bunch of kids. Like I said, we lost a lot of seniors off last year's team, and we had some high points. We had some low points. Like I said, Pekin was a game that if I remember right, we were in position most of the night to win that game. Had the block punt and had the interception, and but still our kids found a way to come back. And I thought that was a great sign for our team that we could have laid down that night and we battled back, and that was something we hoped to build in our kids, and I thought we saw that through the rest of the season, and finished off with a couple wins there with Cardinal and Winfield Mount Union, and so ended on a high note, and hopefully we can build on that to start this year.
Absolutely, and I followed North Mahaska, been on the radio the last 4 years, and so seeing some of those games where they had gotten down early, so kudos to you, especially like I said, that Pekin game, the kids came out in the second half, battled, gave themselves a chance to win. Really a defensive struggle at Winfield Mountain Union game, so really the field goal, the difference in that game, and then ending the year for your seniors, just a few minutes, Mylan DeYoung, Cole Spolstra, Brant Fleener, Caleb Gipple, Reese Strauss, for those seniors off of last year's team, giving them a win to go into their into their adult life, I guess.
Yeah,
probably the last chance for them. So.
Yeah, they were, like I said, it was a great bunch of seniors, and then we're really going to miss those guys, and obviously they provided us a lot. In terms of skill and talent on the field, but they were also great leaders and great kids to just be around, and I thought they did what we wanted them to do to kind of set a foundation for where our program wants to go, and we really appreciate what they did for us, and hopefully we can build on that.
So talk a little about, so you guys just got done with camp, practice is starting here this week. Talk about camp a little bit, some of the numbers that you have coming back this year, and maybe some of the seniors that you're going to be relying on.
Yeah, so we have 27 that will be out for the team this year, which is a little bit down, but we knew that would probably be the case when we were graduating so many seniors, and we're trying to continue to build those numbers up, and maybe we can catch another one or two, when school starts. But we had great attendance for camp. Of those 27 guys, all of them showed up for the majority of the days, and so we were able to kind of hit the ground running with that group. And now we're into practices, and again, those 27 guys have still been there, and so that's a good sign for us. We're led. Braden Terrell is returning. The starter for us a season ago, a big kid that's going to do good things for us on the line. And that's an area where we really needed to improve because we were going to miss so many guys from last season. We needed to find good replacements. Braden's going to be a stalwart for us up there. Gage Van Gorp's going to take over a spot up there with us. Young man who was hurt for a lot of last season. Strong, explosive, plays really aggressive. I'm excited to see what he can do for us this year. Tyler Strasser was kind of a one-way guy for us a year ago, a really good defensive back for us. He's now going to have to play both sides of the ball. We're counting on him to be a playmaker. In the passing game especially, but really just kind of a catch-all guy. He can help us about anywhere. His blocking is really good too. He's aggressive also, and so that makes him really valuable to us, and he'll really help us out both sides of the ball. Ben Sherburne's back at quarterback for us. We lost him the last 3 games of last year, and had to make do without him, and and I thought that showed. We were still able to go out and get a couple of wins with him gone, but he definitely brings an element to our passing game that we needed, and we're looking forward to him having another year under his belt to go out and lead us out front. Dakota Reedshaw is back for us. All-district nose guard a year ago. He's really tough up front. We're counting on him now to be a two-way guy as well. And so we're excited what that group of guys can bring to us. Up front, because it's a great group of seniors. Seth Edmondson's back; he's going to have to carry the ball a little bit more for us. Tom Wilkin is going to play tight end. Big body. He's worked really hard to get himself stronger in the off season. So we're really excited about what this group can do. And Friday night can't come soon enough.
And you talked a little bit about, I can remember when Braden Terrell as a freshman was getting snaps, and now as a senior, he's one of these guys that's had experience on the varsity side of the ball, and really a guy that last year, whether it through other teams knew that he was there, gave the opportunity for a kid like Dakota to show up from that nose guard standpoint, because it seemed like that Braden would get a lot of double teams and a lot. So now you still got those two kind of, like I said, stalwarts there on the defensive line to help set the tone for your defense. Again, Ben Sherburne coming back, injury or the concussion protocol from last year, missed the last 3 games. You guys still were able to pull 2 of those wins in 2 of those last 3. So not having your go-to quarterback, that's something to say for last year's team as we come in there. Talk a little bit about, because you guys picked up a game here very quickly. Week 0, which will be this Friday night, August the 18th. Typically, what most schools, a scrimmage day or a practice day, you guys actually have a game pickup. You're going to go on the road to Highland. Can you talk a little bit about that, and with Danville being a part of the district and now canceling their season?
Yeah, so we caught word there about a week before practice started, and really actually just a couple days before practice started, that we weren't going to have that game anymore, that Danville wasn't going to be able to field a team. And so we quickly tried to find an opponent. We went to Highland, and fortunately that worked out for us. And we were able to find a week 0 date that would work. And so that just moved everything up quickly in a short time to kind of prep for that. But we're really happy that we get the opportunity to play a 9th game at this season. It comes up pretty quick. The kids are excited about it. It's one less week of practice. From their standpoint, as a coach, we kind of wish we still had that week. And you can still see, as we go through practice, we've made strides here in the 10 practices that we've had. But we certainly benefit from another few before getting on the field. But we understand that Highland's in the same boat that we are, and so we're excited to go out. And just try and go and play mistake-free football and see where we can end up. I think if we play smart, we limit our mistakes, we'll certainly be in the game Friday night.
In Highland, I believe a 1A school,
yes.
Highland. So playing up a class, but the challenge that creates with Danville, anytime you have a team cancel a season that late, you've got basically 8 opponents. And I've always contended whether that's going to help you out in the middle of the season. You guys are eventually going to have a bye week. Which, we see in NFL, we see in college football, those bye weeks a lot of times give your kids a chance to heal. I know starting before school even starts. And that's, now you've got, I think, 24 games on Friday night between 8-man football, Class A, 1A, where we've had to fill those. Talking to Todd Tharp with the Iowa High School Athletics, they granted Osceola Clark High School a 10th game to help fill out because of what happened with Danville as well. So we get past the non-district opponents and we get into what seems to be here the last couple of years, probably one of the toughest districts in Iowa. The only one I can think of tougher is if you had to play North with the Glybrick Ridebacks and the BGMs and some of those. But talk about some of your district opponents. We've got New London coming back for the 2nd year. Winfield Mount Union, this is their 2nd year in the district as well. But then you've got some perennially good football teams, Peak and Linville, Sully, Montezuma. So talk a little bit about your season and as you see the schedule lay out.
Yeah, so we get through Highland and Belle Plaine. Will be a really nice team. Colfax to kind of finish off our non-district, and we start right off with Linville Sully, who I think is going to be probably the favorite, to win our district. We get them right off the bat at their place, and that's going to be a really stiff challenge for us to start us off. But it's good to get them going. If we're, I suppose, if there's a good time to catch a team, it's as early as possible. And so of course they're going to have a couple games under their belt, but that'll kick us off into district play. And really, we start an opening stretch. It's pretty difficult. We're going to see those the top teams in our district kind of early. We go from Linville Sully to Pekin at home. And like I said, we kind of recapped, that game a year ago. So we're excited to get back on the field and give them another shot. Then to New London, who was a sneaky good team last year. I don't think a lot of people knew what they were going to be, and then they ended up having a really nice season. They've got a tremendous player coming back, and so a new coaching staff. But nonetheless, they've got the kids that will be a pretty talented team there also. And then following that game, we get our break. That'll be our bye week against Danville. And like you said, it's not everybody gets that, and we see it as kind of a blessing. We're going to need that week to kind of catch our breath, give us a shot, and get ready to go for Montezuma when we come back from the bye week. Montezuma is always going to be a good football team. You know, whether they feel like they're going to bring all their kids back or not, they're coached well. They've got something good going. They're a traditional power, so you're always going to have to contend with them being at the top of your district. And then we'll finish up with Winfield, Mount Union, and Cardinal at home. So we kind of save 2 right at the end of the season to come back home to. You hope those are games that you're in position to win again, as we were last year. We've got to avoid some injuries and whatnot, but it's a good way to finish up the season, I think, and hopefully we can go and be in a spot where we can win those 2 just like we did a year ago.
Absolutely. So, and you can catch all the North Mahaska games on KIIC.5. We will be live streaming, and I say we. I've been in the booth for the last 4 years. Mike Gipple out of North Mahaska, his son Caleb graduated last year. Mike will be covering all those games for KIIC.5 every Friday night. You can catch that starting with week 0, North Mahaska Warhawks at Highland. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with some final comments from Coach Stubbs. You're watching the weekly football update on Oski News, sponsored by State Farm and InsureOski.com.
For all your insurance and financial service needs, call your State Farm agent Wendell Campbell in Oskaloosa today.
And we're back with Coach Cass Stubbs of the North Mahaska Warhawks previewing the 2017 season. Coach Stubbs, thanks for spending a little bit of time here with us today. Just kind of some parting thoughts here. What do we expect to see from the North Mahaska Warhawks here this season?
Yeah, well, I think we'll be, I hope that you'll see us be a little more mistake-free than we were a year ago. We made some mistakes that, are correctable, and you're getting a new batch of kids, but you've got a second year now with your terminology and with what we kind of expect defensively, offensively. And so I'm excited to see how that all works out, and I think, through the first 10 days, if those are any indication, I think we're going to be in a better spot in terms of just being able to keep the ball under control, making the right plays, making good decisions. And so I'm excited to see how that all works out. We got a tough group yet. We're short on numbers, but we have a lot of guys that'll work hard for us. We know that we can really expect those guys to go out and give us a great effort every Friday night, and that's all you hope for. So we want to go out. We're going to be challenged every week, but I think if we play up to our potential, we're going to be all right, and we'll be in some games and have a shot to win every Friday night, I hope.
Yep. Look forward to it. Again, week 0, the North Mahaska Warhawks going to go on the road to Highland. I believe the Warriors. Warriors to Highland. Mike Gipple on KIIC stream number 5. You can catch that through the Thunder Country app or off of KIIC's website. They'll be following the Warhawks all season long. They get started. Oskaloosa will be at home this week, Friday the 18th, and they will be playing Centerville in a scrimmage. So the old shoe game scrimmage will be going on out at Lacey Complex for week 0. So for Cass Stubbs, thanks for spending some time. We're going to take a break. We'll be back next week, and we'll tell you what happened on week 0. Just a few scores, 24 games around the state and a few in the area. I believe Eddyville, Blacksburg, Fremont does also have a game this week. So we'll break down what few scores we have from week 0 and get you a preview for week 1. As Oskaloosa will have Pella at home, and North Mahaska, you will have...
We will be home for Belle Plaine.
Belle Plaine at home. The Plainsmen come to North Mahaska for week number 1. You're watching the weekly football update on Oski News, sponsored by State Farm and InsureOski.com.